Well, I think we've had enough talk. It's time for the main event.
Everyone, welcome to Scott Retro Wrestling. I'm of course Scott Robertson, your host, and I'm the guy that reviews the shows so you don't have to. On this day, January the 6th, 2008 is the year we're going back to. Is it a WWE show? No. Is it WCW? No. We've had New Japan. This is TNA. We're looking at TNA Final Resolution, January the 6th, 2008, from Universal Studios in Orlando, Florida. 900 people in attendance. I couldn't work out what the buy rate was. It wouldn't give me that information. So yeah, we are in TNA era. And it's weird. They have, excuse me, 2 Final Resolution pay-per-views this year. This is the first one. They have Final Resolution in December. Luckily, I watched the correct one. And what's been happening in TNA in 2008? Well, the main focuses of this show are Kurt Angle, Christian Cage, and sort of them trying to woo Tonko and AJ Styles. So Tonko and Styles have been a part of Christian's coalition. Then just at the Turning Point pay-per-view, they were teaming up with Kurt Angle. So against Samoa Joe, Kevin Nash, and it was going to be Scott Hall, and then Joe cuts a quite infamous promo on Scott Hall no-showing the event. So that's sort of the main angle going on in TNA. Other things, they've just recently introduced the Knockouts division, and that was a focus of the opening video package as well as what I've just talked about earlier. I'm just going to get into it right now. This is my review of TNA Final Resolution 2008, the January edition. With a tag team match, we have LAX, Homicide Hernandez, taking on the Rock and Rave Affection, which is Lance Hoyt and the late great Jimmy Rave with Christy Hemme. So the story is this mystery person they assume is a man has been attacking Christy Hemme over these past few weeks. And will this person show up? So Jimmy Rave and Homicide start off the match with some fast-paced action, and to think that those two actually competed for the Ring of Honor World title like a few years earlier. We got a little exchange with them. They tag in the big guys. Ref kind of loses control to begin with. Rock and Rave, they get taken out to the outside. I think Homicide goes for his tope con hilo, which is the somersault through the top and middle rope. It gets taken out, but then instead, the big guy Hernandez, he's so impressive for a guy his size, it literally vaults over the top rope, takes out them both. Then LAX start working on Jimmy Rave for some tag team offense. We then move with the flip reverse, where the Rock and Rave connection, is it Infection or Connection? I can never remember. They start working on Homicide. Then Hernandez gets a tag. He is a house of fire. He hits the crackerjacker, which is what they called it, which is his sort of choke overhead belly to belly throw. He hits a huge power bomb as well, gets near falling. Lance Hoyt comes in, and Lance Hoyt's 6'9" and manages to moonsault onto Hernandez. Very impressive for a guy his size. Homicide then eventually gets his tope con hilo in. And well, Hoyt and Homicide are taken out. Hernandez is going for the border toss on Jimmy Rave. Christy Hemme stops it, and then we see the mystery person getting in. They get sort of taken out, and then they're fighting on the top rope, and then Hernandez hits a huge border toss onto Jimmy Rave to pick up the win. About 6 minutes and 48 seconds. Then afterwards, Hoyt takes out LAX, and then the mystery woman, I just spoiled it for you. So the assailant attacks Christy Hemme. It turns out to be Shelly Martinez, Ariel from. So, yeah. I can't remember what she was called in TNA, but it's Shelly Martinez, Ariel. She struggles to get off her gear, which was quite funny. 2 stars. I think I'm gonna give this 2 stars. It was just a match to sort of wait for the payoff. Some impressive stuff. Hernandez and Hoyt are two actually impressive big guys in this. Would have loved to see more Jimmy Rave and Homicide rather than just at the start of the match. A little bit messy at times. The ref just didn't know what he was doing as well. But yeah, that was fine. We then move on to the next match where it is Kaz taking on Black Rain. And if you want to know who Black Rain is, it is Dustin Rhodes' alter ego in TNA. But I've heard stories that this was when he was at his heaviest and he was in a really bad place at this time. They did play a video package for this match, and it would a very odd storyline. I don't really remember this at all. I was a bit of a TNA fan at this time. Anyway, the match itself was ugly, shall we say. Kaz starts off really fast-paced action, takes Black Rain out with a springboard back elbow. Black Rain tries to take a breather, and then we got a clothesline off the apron from Kaz. We got a fight on the apron, and then Black Rain gets the advantage, sends it back into the ring, and just really slows the pace down with a lot of rest holds in this match. Kaz tries to fight back. He eventually does. He misses his leg drop from the top rope. While Black Rain was kind of slowing the pace down, he hit a stunner of sorts on Kaz to kind of kill the momentum, which I found was very, very odd. We then get a modified pedigree from Black Rain. He goes for the curtain call, but Kaz counters it into the wave of the future for the win. 7 minutes and 29, and then Kaz takes Misty away, so that's kind of continuing their feud. 1 star. These two did not work well together. It was a really poor storyline, and yeah, 1 star. This next matchup, however, was awesome. It was a no disqualification match for the TNA Knockouts Championship. Gail Kim defending the title against Awesome Kong. I hadn't seen this match. I'd heard of their rivalry. I knew this rivalry was a huge deal, and it sort of said that the TNA Knockouts division was going to be great. And I think it has been. It has spells. It's like, right now, it's one of the best. And then this one established it is probably the best, because the WWE were kind of focusing on their Divas era. This was about women's wrestling. So I'd heard about this match. I'd never seen it until today. Man, was I looking forward to it. Gail Kim was the first champion. She won it in Bound for Glory, and this is her another defense against Awesome Kong. No disqualification. The fight goes to the floor immediately. They start fighting. Kong is dominating. Gail Kim tries to get some offense in, but Kong just is smacking her down, including one moment where they kind of get to the ringside area, and you ever seen Gail Kim's going for like a Hurricane Rana, Kong kind of catches her and sort of swings her, and then just swings her right into the barricade. Ridiculous spot. So Gail Kim does fight back. They end up fighting in the crowd, and this felt like a proper David and Goliath style match, because anytime Gail Kim got offense in, Awesome Kong was just swatting her down, just asserting her dominance in this match. Of course, there was no disqualifications, so a chair was brought into the ring. Kong was going to use it, but Gail Kim just kicks it right back in her face. She goes up top for some sort of crossbody, but Kong just catches her and just slams her down on the mat. Kong gets a spinning back fist in. The Awesome Bomb is countered into a sort of choke. Gail Kim then tries to go for another aerial maneuver again. It gets caught. Kong hits the implant buster. You think that's it. 1, 2, kick out. Awesome Kong can't believe it, so much so she power bombs the referee Slick Johnson. And then Gail Kim's like, this is my opportunity. A couple of chair shots to the back. She goes up top. She gets a splash, but the second referee's running down. 1, 2, kick out. Then Kong gets the momentum back, hits the choke slam. 1, 2, Gail Kim kicks out. Crowd were getting really, really into this, fighting for every near fall. Awesome Kong's away to go powerbomb the referee again, picks him up, but Gail Kim rolls up Awesome Kong as she's doing it. 1, 2, 3. Gail Kim retains the title. I thought this was a fantastic... This was match of the night for me. I've given it 3 3/4. The reason is, these two could have gone on a lot longer. It went 12 minutes and 44 seconds, but these two could have gone on for a long time. Excellent chemistry, really good David and Goliath story. I thought the finish was clever. I've never seen a finish like that before. I thought it was so in fact, no, scrap the 3 3/4. I'm giving it 4 stars. Loved this match. Loved this match. There was another one I forgot to mention when... Oh, with the Awesome Bomb counter is when Gail Kim tries to roll through with the sunset. Kong is a way to just go and do like a bonsai or butt drop. Gail Kim just kind of rolls out of the way. Great match. It is a fantastic... And if you haven't seen it, this would be my match recommendation for you to check out from this show. Well worth checking out. We then get Abyss versus Judas Messias. This is not the barbed wire massacre match, so again, that was a disappointment for me right from the word go. Weird storyline. I don't really remember, and they didn't really show me about this during the video package itself. It's something to do with Abyss being Father James Mitchell being Abyss's dad or something like that. It was a really weird story. Well, one thing I learned from this match is Judas Messias is not that good. I like Abyss. I loved Abyss when he was in TNA, but it was when he was against the right opponent, and this just didn't seem right. This didn't work. Messias starts off strong, then Abyss gets him with a clothesline to the outside. The focus of this match is Abyss, Judas Messias working on the leg of Abyss, because he gets the advantage by putting his leg into the ring post with a slam. And there's a lot of work on the legs, and it kind of took... When it's two big guys, you don't want wrestles, you just want them having like power moves and just beating the piss out of each other. This just didn't work. Abyss comes back, we get... Why did they not just make this a no disqualification match? Chairs brought into the ring, Abyss puts it between the top and middle turnbuckle. Messias goes through the chair, choke slam from Abyss and gets a kick out of it, and then there's a chair wrapped in barbed wire brought in as the referees try to get the other chair out involved. Ref's distracted. Abyss then, Messias hits Abyss with barbed wire chair. He gets a splash, it's a near fall. Then Abyss, for a bit of a counter, Abyss hits the black hole slam. He thinks he's got the match won, but Father James Mitchell is distracting the ref, and that allows Messias to miss Abyss, then hit the straight to hell on the barbed wire chair for the win. 11 minutes and 3 seconds is the official time. I've given it 1.5 stars. Judas Messias is not very good. Felt sorry for Abyss in this match, and it leads to a barbed wire massacre match for Against All Odds, because they start beating up Abyss after this matchup. Next up is a mixed tag team match between Booker T and Sharmell and Robert Roode and Peyton. No, it was Miss Brooks, Tracy Brooks. Why was this a mixed tag? I'll tell you why. The women didn't get involved until right at the end, and they're both not really wrestlers. Why wasn't this just a straight up tag singles match between Roode and Booker T? Having said that, on my notes, nothing happened. Nothing happened between the two of them. I couldn't picture one thing from the other. It was a snooze fest to the least. I went for a pee during this match and came back and it was still doing the same thing. A very even contest between two good wrestlers, just not when they're together. But the story is that Miss Brooks, Bobby Roode has just basically been an absolute a-hole to Miss Brooks. Sharmell's kind of got involved with it, and it kind of led Booker T into this. Miss Brooks doesn't want to fight, but Ruth has accidentally tagged her in. Charmel and Miss Brooks start having a cat fight. Rude and Booker are fighting on the outside. So the women are involved with the matchup. Miss Brooks tries to roll up Charmel. Charmel kicks her into Robert Roode. Charmel gets the roll up win. And this went 10 minutes and 48 seconds, by the way. Oh my god, it felt like 20. But it's kind of more known for what happens after. So Rude's just berating Miss Brooke. Referees are trying to get involved, and then Charmel gets in the ring, but Rude thinks it's a ref. He's turned around and just leathered Charmel. Literally. So they did the Shawn Michaels wife getting punched spot before the WWE did. So, well done TNA, good job. Anyway, 1.5. It was an utter snooze fest, and why was it made a mixed tag team match? Match number 6 is an Ultimate X 6-man tag team match, but not for the X Division Championship, but it is to retain the belt. I'll explain. So it's Team 3D and Johnny Devine, the X Division defector, for taking on the Motor City Machine Guns and the current champion Jay Lethal, but Team 3D have possession of the belt. They just want rid of the X Division. They don't see this. They just hate the X Division. Brother Ray cuts a promo before the match. It goes on a little bit too long, but he kind of gets his points across. So yeah, they just want to destroy the X Division. But the X Division guys, this is their match. This is the match that defines the X Division. And it's coming back at Hard to Kill with the Women's Ultimate X match as well. So they kind of pair off. The tag teams are fighting each other. Lethal's fighting Johnny Devine. Good angle going into this match is that the Motor City Machine Guns both have injured hands. So at the start of the match, they're trying to climb the cables, but as soon as they try, their hands are just done. They can't climb. So it's up to Jay Lethal or he's actually Black Machismo Jay Lethal. I should have mentioned that earlier. So the Guns can't really do much. However, they really killed Johnny Devine when he has a go at it. Each grab one leg and kind of just flip him round, and he just almost lands right on his head. Very nasty looking spot there. Team 3D take out the Guns, and then they kind of do a comedy spot during this match, but it kind of makes sense. It's because they're two bigger guys. They felt they couldn't climb the cables, so they try and do like jumping for them or like foots up, and they're hurting their backs. So Brother Ray does attempt to climb the structure, but Jay Lethal just quickly bounces off the top rope right in front of him, gives him a little wave, chases him down. That kind of gets cut off as well. Lethal and Devine have a little exchange. Johnny Devine wins. He goes for the title again, but Alex Shelley stops him. Devine gets a tornado DDT by Chris Sabin. Team 3D get kendo sticks in, and they start wailing on the three guys involved. And then for the ultimate heel move in the Ultimate X match, they bring a ladder into the ring. I thought that was a genius move from Team 3D. I liked that they cheated to win. And TNA and Dom West, who I thought were actually okay on commentary, but the rules were, it's like, oh, it's a sacred rule, you don't bring a ladder into an Ultimate X match. But they're heels. That's what they're meant to do. Devine climbs up the ladder. Sabin stops him by chucking him off the ladder. Sabin gets 3D'd. They get a ladder shot to Jay Lethal. Devon uses the ladder, and a bit of genius play by the Dudleys. They move the ladder so that Devon's kind of hanging from the title. And Team 3D and Johnny Devine win. I think this feud continues. Yes, this continues over until Against All Odds, where the title is on the line. This one, I've given it 2.5 because it went about 12 minutes. I thought the action was fine. If it was Lethal and Devine in the Ultimate X, I think it would maybe be better. But I thought the comedy stuff was funny because it made sense. The story of the guns that they didn't even attempt or tried to attempt in their injured hands, because there was a kendo stick spot when the Dudleys brought it out and they kind of laid it over the table and started like what they did before they took the match out. I thought was pretty cool, but yeah, I'm giving it 2.5. I thought it was fine. I have seen the street fight that takes place Against All Odds, and it is a far better match than this. Then we move on to the TNA Tag Team Championship match. AJ and Tyson Tonko taking on Kevin Nash and Samoa Joe. Now AJ, the main story, I'll maybe talk about it now, and then we'll kind of get to the main event as well, is Tonko's he's not choosing a side between Angle and Christian, and it's AJ's the main one where he says he'll make his decision at the pay-per-view. He gets interviewed about it and he says, no, I haven't really. And then Karen Angle tries to basically flirt with AJ to make up his mind about it. So Joe and AJ start, and I mean, it's a joy watching Samoa Joe and AJ Styles. They are hindered a little bit in the tag match. Kevin Nash can't really go, and I don't think Tonko's that very good. Nash gets tagged in. AJ just immediately goes for the legs. Tonko is in. They work over Kevin Nash's legs for a lot during this match, and it kind of slows the pace down a little bit. It needed to be a little bit quicker when you've got Samoa Joe and AJ Styles involved in this, but Nash comes back with his patented sidewalk slam. He tags in, Tonko tags in, and then AJ and Joe again have another exchange. Samoa Joe is getting much of the offense in. AJ hits his beautiful dropkick. I think Joe's coming for a move, and AJ just sort of stops, hits him with a drop kick, and it just cuts Samoa Joe off right at the start. I thought it was very impressive. Then they start working on Samoa Joe. He starts playing the babyface in peril, and then this wicked move, probably the move of the match for me, is AJ's going for this Hurricane Rana. Joe just kind of catches him, hits him with a powerbomb, but then the turn sort of happens. So Samoa Joe's away to tag Kevin Nash in. Nash must have still been pissed from Turning Point because he just drops off the apron and just walks away. Joe's like, what the are you doing? It made sense. So Joe is now 2-on-1 advantage. He is an absolute fist of fury. I didn't realise that Tonko and Styles' finisher was the Magic Killer, but they didn't really call it the Magic Killer. It was just their move. Joe fights out of it. He's just beating up on the guys 2-on-1. He gets Tonko out of the way, so it's just him and Styles, because he knows Styles is a smaller guy. He hits the Muscle Buster, but Tonko breaks it up. Styles then hits the Pele, boot from Tonko. They hit their Magic Killer move for the win. 2 stars, 12 minutes and 11 seconds. I like Joe's sort of flurry when he knew he was at 2-on-1 advantage then. I just think the two big guys involved just didn't really add much to it. Nash was only in there for maybe a couple of minutes, but he would have been what? Late 40s? So he couldn't really move, and obviously they were mentioned in commentary about his knee troubles, and that was the focus of the match. So AJ wins, but he plays a really important part in the main event. Kurt Angle, Christian Cage for the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. Technically at the moment it's a heel versus heel match, but Christian Cage is the babyface from the crowd during this matchup. And these two know each other so well, but I believe maybe they've wrestled before in like 2007, but the fact that these two were main eventing a TNA pay-per-view, and then their buddy Edge is the World Heavyweight Champion at the time over in WWE, Team Inc are doing quite well for themselves. Yeah, so we just established that yes, at the moment it's heel versus heel. Christian is the babyface. It's even fast-paced matchup to start with. Christian flapjacks Angle and then kind of goads Angle into like charging at him. He misses. and then Christian tries it again, but Angle catches him and then just suplexes Christian over the ropes to the outside. Angle controls the matchup from there. He tries to keep Christian grounded as much as possible. Angle hits a beautiful moonsault as he's dominating the matchup, but Christian kicks out. Christian then gets his momentum back. He goes for a frog splash, but he misses, and Angle gets him in the ankle lock. Cage escapes, and then Kurt tries another ankle lock on while Christian started hanging on the top rope. They kind of battle to the top rope. Christian's maybe got to go for another move, and then Angle runs up, belly to belly, off the top to the mat below. Angle tries to go for another ankle lock, but Cage fights back and gets in a Texas Cloverleaf, which then Angle beautifully counters into the ankle lock. Then it's sort of building up. Then they're trying to trade finishers with the Angle Slam and the Unprettier, which Christian hits. You think Christian's going to win the title, but Karen Angle has distracted the referee. So Christian's hit the Unprettier, Kurt kicks out, sorry. Karen Angle then distracts the ref as Christian's got the ankle lock on Kurt. This is where AJ comes in. AJ comes down, kind of puts Karen to one side. We get a hug between Christian and Kurt. But then as Christian's walking back to Kurt, AJ jumps off the ropes with a forearm to the back of the head. Kurt hits the Angle Slam to win the match. 18 minutes, 39 seconds. Kurt Angle retains. AJ has aligned with Kurt Angle, and that's how the show ends. 3 stars. I thought it was a good match. Could have been better. And it was just a little bit of a predictable finish. Especially with what was happening throughout the show. Yeah, I thought it was a bit too predictable. Kurt and Christian had actually worked really well together, but maybe not quite as good as Kurt and Edge. Sorry, Christian, but I just thought that was true. And yeah, it goes on to a rematch against All Odds, which potentially could be one of February's reviews. But yeah, 3 stars. I thought it was a good match, good main event. And that was TNA Final Resolution. Overall grade coming up. Overall grade for TNA Final Resolution is a D+. The plus being the main event, which I thought was good, but could have been better. And the plus is Awesome Kong and Gail Kim's no DQ match. The rest of the card is very, very skippable for me. A mixed tag match that made most sense, it was rather dull. Judas Cius and Abyss, I think, needed a stipulation, which they did the next month. Kaz and Black Reign's not great. The opener there's some impressive things, but it's a bit of a mess. So yeah, like the 2 main, like the Knockout and the TNA World title matches, I would say, are the ones to check out from this show. I'll maybe get a video where I will just list my match recommendations for the channel, and that's going to do it. Tomorrow, I'm looking at ECW's final ever pay-per-view, Guilty as Charged. I'm Scott Retro Wrestling. Thank you so much for watching, tuning in. Like, share, subscribe. I'll see you guys tomorrow.